Hey, I'm Aisling, 26, female. So let me tell you about my journey with my mother-in-law, Nilani. I'm Aisling, and I've always been someone who likes to keep things chill and drama-free. I don't seek trouble or get involved in any unnecessary conflicts. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for Nilani, my mother-in-law. From the moment I met Nilani, it felt like she thought she was starring in some kind of reality TV show. Drama seemed to follow her wherever she went, and you know what? I wasn't into all that mess. It almost made me question whether I should get married to her son, Arden, at all. But here's the thing. I loved Arden. Like, really loved him. Our connection was so strong, and I knew deep down that he was the one for me. So I made up my mind to endure my mother-in-law's drama for the sake of love. Little did I know about the roller coaster ride that was in store for me. You see, Nilani had this strange perception of me. She seemed to think that because I was laid back and quiet, I had something to hide. Oh boy, did she taunt and tease me for that. She would make the wildest accusations about my character, all because I didn't fit into her idea of what a proper wife should be like. One day she cornered me and said, "Aisling, why are you so quiet all the time? It's not normal. You're hiding something. I just know it." I couldn't help but roll my eyes at her dramatics. "Nilani, I'm just a calm and introverted person. There's nothing mysterious about it." But of course, that didn't satisfy her. She kept pushing, trying to dig up some non-existent scandal. "You're just too good to be true. Nobody is that nice all the time." I took a deep breath, trying to keep cool. "Well, Nilani, I believe in being kind and respectful to everyone. It's not about being too good. It's just who I am." I tried to reason with her, but it was like talking to a brick wall. Seems like the concept of just being kind missed her. From then on, it seemed like there was a constant battle between us. Nilani would nitpick at every little thing I did, turning even the most innocent situations into dramatic showdowns. I was exhausted, but I kept reminding myself of the love I had for Arden and the life we were building together. Oh, you wouldn't believe the dramatic antics that intensified when Nilani learned that Arden and I were trying for a baby. It was like she saw it as a competition or something, as if my pregnancy was going to steal all the attention away from her. Classic Nilani, always craving the spotlight. She would make these snide comments like, "Oh, you'll never get pregnant." And it would irk me to no end. I mean, who says that? It's such a hurtful thing to say, especially when you're trying to start a family. Every time her husband Keanu or even Arden tried to intervene and tell her to stop, she would try to backtrack and say, "Oh, you know, women nowadays aren't that fertile. That's all I was trying to say. But I do hope you get pregnant." Yeah, right. It was clear that she was just trying to get under my skin, but I wasn't about to let her get to me. I knew she thrived on the drama, and I was determined not to give her the satisfaction. So I persevered. I focused on my relationship with Arden, our love for each other, and our shared excitement about starting a family. We were in this together, and nothing Nilani said could change that. Then the day finally came when Arden and I had some exciting news to share. We decided to announce my pregnancy during a family cookout. Everyone was gathered, and I could feel the excitement in the air. I was nervous, but also so overjoyed to share our happy news. "Hey everyone, we have something special to tell you. Aisling is pregnant." The cheers and applause that followed were heartwarming. Everyone was so happy for us, except for one person, Nilani. I could sense her annoyance in my peripherals, but I refused to let it dampen our moment. As people came up to congratulate us and shower us with love, I noticed Nilani trying to fish for attention. She'd make comments here and there, trying to divert the focus back to herself, but I wasn't having any of it. I smiled graciously, thanked everyone for their kind words, and kept the attention where it belonged, on our growing family. I knew this was a special moment for us, and I wasn't going to let Nilani's need for attention overshadow it. Throughout my pregnancy, Nilani's antics didn't stop. She'd make snarky remarks about my choices and try to give unsolicited advice and constantly make comparisons between my pregnancy and her own experiences. But I had learned to tune her out and focus on what truly mattered, the love and support from my husband and our families. "Oh, look at all the attention you're getting, Aisling. It's like you think you're the only one who has ever been pregnant. Nilani, this is a special moment for us, just like it was for you when you were pregnant. We're excited, and we hope you can be happy for us too." "Oh, I'm thrilled for you, dear. Aren't we all just thrilled?" "Nilani, let's just focus on celebrating Aisling and Arden's joyous news. It's a special time for them." "I just don't see what the big deal is. It's not like it's a competition. But if it were, I'd win hands down. My pregnancies were so much more eventful and exciting." I shared a look of annoyance with Arden. This was the last thing I needed as a pregnant woman. "Come on, Mom, it's not a competition. We're all here to celebrate the new addition to our family." "Fine. If you want me to be all excited, I'm excited. Yay, another baby in the family. How wonderful. Thank you, Nilani. We appreciate your support." Whatever. Both Keanu and Arden weren't pleased with Nilani's behavior, and I was beyond pissed. I just couldn't fathom why someone would be so rude and annoying during my pregnancy. Throughout my pregnancy, Nilani's comments and drama persisted, but Arden was always there, by my side, supporting and reassuring me. He had grown tired of his mother's antics as well, and was determined to shield me from her negativity as much as possible. One sunny afternoon, while Arden was at work, I was alone in the house when the doorbell rang. I opened the door to find Nilani and Keanu standing there with arms full of baby items. They had come over to drop off some baby stuff in preparation for the birth, which was due in just 2 months. As soon as I saw them, I could feel my pregnancy hormones flaring up. I had been dealing with Nilani's drama for a while now, and being alone with her made me feel uneasy. I knew she could be unpredictable and didn't want to deal with any unnecessary drama. "Hello, Aisling, dear. We brought some things for the baby. I thought you might like them." "Thank you." As they started unloading the baby items, Nilani couldn't resist making some comments that grated on my nerves. She started questioning some of the baby items I had already purchased, saying things like, "Are you sure that's the right brand? I've heard it's not very good." I took a deep breath, trying to remain composed. "I did my research and I'm happy with the choices I've made." Nilani didn't seem satisfied with my response and continued to offer unsolicited advice and opinions on everything, from baby clothes to nursery decor. It was clear that she wanted to be in control and have a say in every aspect of the baby's life. Feeling fed up, I finally mustered the courage to speak up. "Nilani, I appreciate your help, but I would prefer to make these decisions with Arden. It's important for us to choose things that we like and feel comfortable with." Nilani's face darkened, and I could tell she wasn't pleased with my response. "Well, I just want what's best for the baby." "I understand that, but Arden and I are the parents and we'll make the best decisions for our child." Keanu, who had been quiet throughout the exchange, tried to defuse the situation. "Let's not argue, dear. We're here to support Aisling and Arden." I nodded, grateful for Keanu's attempts to mediate, but I couldn't help but feel frustrated with Nilani's constant need to control and assert herself in our lives. Keanu went back to get some more items, and that's when Nilani made another snide comment about how I would handle being a new mother. "You're so quiet and laid back. I don't know how you'll manage with a baby." "I may be quiet, but I am strong and capable. I'll figure it out just like any new mother would." "Oh, look at you, Aisling, ever the calm and collected one." "Yep, that's me. With the way you act so nonchalant about everything, I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out that the baby wasn't even Arden's." "Excuse me?" "Oh, no, dear, don't get offended. I just meant that you'd easily get away with something like that anyway. Let's hope that the baby at least looks like him." As Keanu unloaded the remaining baby gifts from the car, I tried my best to keep my cool around Nilani, but her comment about Arden not being the father of the baby was the last straw. My pregnancy hormones were already making me extra sensitive, and her words hit a nerve. "You know, Nilani, I can't believe you'd say something like that. That's rich coming from you, actually, considering that Arden doesn't even look like Keanu. Nilani's face turned red, and for once she seemed at a loss for words. I could tell my response caught her off guard. Well, it's just a joke. A joke? Really? Well, it's not funny, and it's not appropriate, and why are you all of a sudden so red? And she seemed taken aback by my response. Before she could say anything else, Keanu walked into the house with his arms full of baby gifts. Hey, everything okay in here? Nilani quickly plastered on a fake smile. Oh, yes, dear, just feeling a little queasy, that's all. I think I need to go home and lie down. What's wrong? What happened? I'm just feeling a bit light-headed is all. Do you want me to take you home? Yes, I think that would be best. Oh, all right then. Sorry, Ice. I'll be back to help you set everything up. Don't you dare lift a finger. As Keanu escorted Nilani to the car, I couldn't help but wonder what had just happened. Her reaction to my comment about Arden's father seemed odd, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. After they left, I called Arden at work and filled him in on the encounter with his parents. He was just as surprised as I was by Nilani's behavior. That's strange. She's never reacted like that before. Yeah, it was really weird, but honestly, I'm just glad she left. I don't need her drama right now. Ice, do you think? No, of course not. It's not possible. Or maybe. I'm coming home. Arden came home and I could see the worry etched on his face as he walked through the door. He immediately started pacing back and forth, clearly deep in thought. I knew he must be thinking about what I had said to Nilani and the possibility that he might not be his father's child. I took a deep breath and approached him gently. Arden, we need to talk about this. I don't want you to be consumed by doubts and uncertainties. He looked at me, his eyes filled with a mix of confusion and concern. I can't help but wonder, Aisling. Her reaction to your comment was just so strange. I understand why you're feeling this way, but you shouldn't jump to conclusions without knowing the truth. Just then we heard Keanu pulling up to the house. When he entered, he noticed the worried expressions on our faces. What's wrong? Why are you home early from work, Arden? Arden took a deep breath and decided to share everything with his father. Aisling made a comment and Mom reacted weirdly, and it got me thinking about some things. I can't shake the feeling that we might not be related. Keanu looked stunned after Arden explained a bit more. His eyes flickered with a mix of emotions. He sat down, unable to find the words to respond. I felt guilty for bringing this topic up, but I knew it was better to address it now rather than let it simmer in our minds. I didn't mean to stir up any trouble, I swear, but considering her reaction, I knew that I had to say something. But before you two begin to panic, there's a way that we can put these doubts to bed. What do you mean? You can do a DNA test to determine paternity, just to make sure. Keanu and Arden looked at each other, considering the suggestion. After a moment of silence, Keanu nodded slowly. Perhaps it's the best way to clear things up. Arden agreed, though he still seemed weighed down by the uncertainty. Okay, let's go. As Arden and Keanu left for the hospital, I couldn't help but replay the conversation I had with Nilani. There was no reason for her to act the way she did if she wasn't hiding something. It felt like a century went by, but finally Arden returned alone with Keanu going back to his home. I imagined that it must have been too much for him to bear. What did the test say? Arden hesitated for a moment before answering. The doctor said the test might take a day or two to get results, maybe even longer, because apparently they're understaffed right now. Oh, I'm so sorry, baby. I'm not. Honestly, I don't even know if I want to look at them. I just can't bear the thought of being lied to for all these years. That's understandable, babe. You have every right to deal with this the best way you see fit. Dad isn't like me, though. He can't wait to get the results. He looked like he was about to bite someone's head off. I pulled him into a comforting hug, reassuring him that we would face whatever came our way together. We spent the rest of the night talking and trying to ease the tension, knowing that the truth would eventually come to light. While the uncertainty was difficult to bear, we knew that it was better to confront the issue head-on rather than let it linger in the shadows. No matter what the results revealed, we were determined to face it as a family, supporting each other through whatever challenges lay ahead. The day of the baby's arrival finally came, and I was both excited and nervous as Arden and I arrived at the hospital. Keanu joined us later, and it was the first time we had seen him since he went to the hospital for the paternity test. He looked somber, holding an envelope in his hand. I got the results. I'll share them with everyone another time, since, you know. Both Arden and I were feeling sad considering his facial expression. It's like we already knew the answer. As the contractions started, I tried to stay calm, and Arden, my friends, and my father-in-law did their best to support and comfort me. The atmosphere in the room was filled with love and anticipation for the arrival of our baby. Suddenly the door swung open, and there she was, Nilani. Instead of focusing on me and the baby, she immediately started causing a scene, demanding attention and making wild accusations. Arden couldn't take it anymore and shouted at her to leave. I'm pretty sure he was already frustrated with her because of his suspicions. "Nobody wants you here. Just go." Then, in an attempt to hurt us, Nilani spat out the words. "You want to act like that? So rude to your own mother? When this child isn't even yours, you should be angry with your whore wife and not me." Gasps filled the room, and tears welled up in my eyes as I clutched my belly. The contractions intensified, and I felt a mix of emotions: anger, hurt, and disbelief. Amidst the chaos, Keanu finally spoke up, his voice firm and commanding. "God damn it! Enough, Nilani! Not everyone is like you!" In one swift motion, he threw the papers in her face, and as she tried to catch it, Arden managed to grab a few documents from the envelope. He looked at them, and his face crumpled. It says 0. The CPI says there's a 0% chance that Dad is my father." The room fell silent, and I could hardly believe what I was hearing. The truth was out, and it was a revelation that, although we suspected, didn't make it less shocking. I couldn't hold back the tears any longer, and the pain of the contraction seemed to mirror the pain in my heart. Nilani, seemingly defeated and embarrassed, couldn't handle the truth she had tried to conceal for so long. The weight of her lies had finally caught up to her, and she fainted on the spot. The nurses rushed to tend her, but the focus soon shifted back to me as the contractions continued. I tried to push through the pain, knowing that the arrival of our baby was imminent. In the midst of all the chaos, Arden held my hand and looked at me with love and determination. "We'll get through this together." Keanu, after recovering from the shock of his wife's revelation, came over and embraced both of us. "I'm sorry for everything. I shouldn't have done that, especially during such a sensitive time. I was just so angry, and I felt like I could burst at any second." I nodded, grateful for his support and understanding. As the contractions grew stronger, the room filled with a sense of unity and determination. Despite the shocking revelation, we were all in this together, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead as a family. Hours later, our beautiful baby finally arrived, and the moment I held her in my arms, all the pain and drama seemed to fade away. In that moment, all that mattered was the love and bond we shared as a family. It was crazy because once the dust had settled and I held my beautiful baby girl, nobody wanted to check up on Nilani, who was admitted in a room somewhere in the hospital. She made various attempts at calling each and every one of us, demanding that we go see her because she fainted, but all of her pleas were obviously ignored. "I'm so sorry that your mom did this to you, to the both of you." "Shh, don't worry about that right now. I'm just glad that both my girls are safe." "But what about Nilani?" "Screw Nilani. Right now I'm mentally preparing for a divorce." "You said it, Dad. I want to remove her from the will." They managed to chuckle, albeit bitterly. It was such a confusing time, filled with joy and anguish, but I was glad to see that they were ready to dump her. Everyone was tired of her BS, and I was just glad that I would be seeing less and less of her in the days to come. And it was good timing too, because I didn't want my little girl to be around all that negative energy. In the days that followed, Nilani desperately tried to get back in everyone's good graces, but no one wanted her. She often posted about how lonely she was, still failing to recognize how this was all her fault. Some people just never learn.